Oi, oi, all right, how's it going? I'm Grant, you're you. This is the Doodle Review coming through with a new album to give a spin, chat some fraff about, and bestow an arbitrary score to. Today we're talking about the latest Kim Gordon record, The Collective. Kim Gordon is, of course, the iconic former bass player, guitarist, composer, and vocalist in the now defunct Sonic Youth, an art rock band that dropped some classic alternative rock albums over the years, as well as pushing the boundaries of what a guitar could do on their more experimental and ambient works. As with Sonic Youth's discography, I have a huge amount of respect for the solo work of Gordon, but operate a bit of a kind of take what you like, leave what you don't kind of attitude. I found her releases under the Body Head moniker, a collaboration with Bill Nace, a bit too far into the kind of abstract no-wave aesthetics for my taste, but really loved her first proper solo album, 2019's No Home record. Released in October of 2019 and written in collaboration with oddball producer Justin Raisin, a dude that's worked with everyone from Drake to John Cale. No Home record was a fusion of arty spoken word, no-wave guitar texturing, industrial beats and post-punk. To me, it kind of took all of the stuff I really enjoy about Gordon's art punk aesthetics and framed them with just enough song structure as to be able to really get into it. What can I say? I'm a normie at heart, but at least I know it. Gordon has put out a few things since No Home record, a single with Jay Mascis in 2021 and a collaborative album with Lauren Connors in 2022 called At Issue. But The Collective, released in March of this year, is the first true follow-up to that 2019 album, reuniting Gordon with producer and writing partner Justin Raisin. While this album feels spiritually connected to No Home record, it very much magnifies and expands upon the darkest and grittiest moments of that record to produce something overall much more industrial feeling in nature. One of the album's biggest achievements, in fact, is how it takes what are undoubtedly digital recordings and manipulations and makes them feel overall just more mechanical than technological. As a listener, you're confronted by this almost instantly with these whirring synths weaved into the beat that sound like some kind of industrial grade scanner. I Don't Miss My Mind features almost what sounds like a rusted iron gate kind of swinging open and closed, and I'm a Man has what could be an air raid siren faintly weaved into the filtered and fuzzed out guitar sound. The sound design is so raw and harsh, it reminded me of something I studied like very briefly at college, which was this concept of musique concrète, a genre or movement that began in France sometime in the 1940s with artists like Pierre Schaeffer. Schaeffer, who would be joined by other artists like Pierre Henry, pioneered the idea of producing music from everyday objects, industrial tools, or even what I imagine would be considered some of the earliest instances of sampling. Famous performances like Symphonie pour un homme seul, Symphony for One Man Alone, can be found on streaming within the collection Panorama de Musique Concrète, and these performances would involve the artist basically just assembling multiple turntables and tape players and then triggering them at certain times to play a range of recordings that they'd previously captured direct to tape or vinyl. Now, I'm not suggesting anything on The Collective is that abstract, but going back to a Pierre Schaeffer recording before or after listening to this album is an interesting exercise. In some respects, for me, it kind of made Gordon's record a bit more of an enjoyable experience, because while I've found this cold, dark collection of tracks really interesting, with moments of iconic greatness, like I'm a Man, for instance, there is, I feel, a lack of dynamism in the arrangements that I thought Gordon and Raisin actually did really well on No Home record and hasn't translated here. You know, by the time we get to Psychedelic Orgasm, about mid to 3/4 of the way through the record, I found myself just a little drained, not by the abrasiveness, but just by the consistent tones that are thrown at you with every song. Most pieces on the record are driven with a heavy sub bass and trap-like atmospherics, which are cool, but just leave me craving some variety in the execution. Without it, you know, I've caught myself kind of glazing over several times and not really taking the album in. Almost like the artists have kind of anticipated that response, I will say the last 4 tracks do mix things up in a way that brings me right back on side. Treehouse has this fuzzed out and filtered guitar part that reminds me of all things Bran Van 3000 and their one-hit wonder Drink in LA, except someone's taken a sandblaster to the guitar and stuffed it inside this really dejected loop. From here we go to Shelf Warmer, one of the starkest compositions on the record, utilising an 808 beat and a lot of space. The track is an unsettling meditation on what sounds like getting an awful gift as an empty gesture from someone that should be close to you but may as well be a stranger now. The Believers slams back in with one of the hookiest noise parts on the entire record, a fuzzy bass loop punctuated with this blown out descending piano melody. The loop builds in intensity over the course of the track and gives way to an atmospheric midsection, which is really cool. And the final track, Dream Dollar, introduces us to a much faster tempo and a more conventional kind of bass line. And personally, I would have loved to have heard a bit more of this energy scattered across the entire album, just to perhaps break up what is otherwise a very blanket mid-tempo record, especially in that first half. Overall, while I do think I will go back to this record a little less than the more varied No Home record, I can't deny that as an experience, as a post-punk no-wave art experience, this feels cohesive, confronting and confident, and it's amazing to hear and see Kim Gordon continue to make an impact in the way that she is right now under her own name outside of Sonic Youth. I'm going to hit this one with a 7 out of 10 and knock it on the head. That's just what I think though. What are you saying? Let me know. Hit me with your thoughts in the comments below. Check out some related videos linked in the description, and if you're interested enough to do all of that, then you may as well subscribe, right? Stick around, share some thoughts, show some love, or just have some abuse in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers mate, bye.